Okay. Good evening to all the participants. And today we are into day one of writing PhD thesis, a national level a workshop, faculty development program, rather. So, the purpose of this faculty development program is to make you aware about the norms for minimum requirements to be compiled while writing the thesis. Okay, so we are into day one of this national level workshop, and this is me. And I'm on a mission to train 10,000 educators, researchers, and students with the latest technological trends as soon as possible, as skilled as possible. Okay, you can also email me. And without getting further delay, let's start with our session. So, to start with the basic question, what is a thesis or a dissertation? So you have something in mind, or maybe some of you are pursuing your PhD, or there you are already a research scholar. Thesis or a dissertation is an independent academic research work. What is meant by that? Actually, it is a factual, logical, and possibly sequential record of your research work on a specific problem or issue carried out over an extended period of time. When I say extended period, means it may take from 3 to 5 years or maybe 7 years to complete your research work. Okay, and thesis is also a record or a report of your research work. It serves as an evaluation matrix for a research degree. Means whatever things from introduction to bibliography, whatever you do, the analysis part and methodology, it will be evaluated during your research award, PhD award. Okay. So it is also a representation of the quality of your research work. This is a thesis purposed for. What is the purpose of your thesis? Okay, what is the purpose? It is actually to communicate or to give answers to what you are doing, why you are doing, pursuing that particular study, and how you have conducted that study. So to answer what, why, and how of the research study along with the findings and the conclusions to the target audience, because you are doing something to solve a problem, a social problem maybe, or an accident research or descriptive research, experimental research. So that purpose should be clarified, and purpose of writing a thesis should contain all these things. Okay, many of the scholars ask that what is the language of research, what should be the language of research, is should be in English only? When I would say that it can be in Hindi, Marathi, or Sanskrit, Bengali, Tamil, in any language. But for scientific reasons, or the faculty of science, law, engineering, technology, medicine, pharmaceutical science, the thesis shall invariably be written in English only. Okay. Otherwise, the dissertation or the thesis, uh, when I say about the length, your dissertation is probably the longest piece of writing you have ever done. Why I'm saying this? Because you may need to write from 300, at least from 300 words to 500 words, whatever is the university guidelines. But it can be intimidating to know where to start. What is the length? There's no dedicated rule for that, but actually, you need to start writing the thesis the day you have started your research study. Okay. After the submission of synopsis, you get 6 months for literature review and all. So at least you can start the chapters one by one. What will be the chapters? I will be just explaining. Okay. So there's no such rule for the length of the thesis. It is desirably be 300 words or so. Okay, but it varies from university to university. Now, let us discuss about the layout of a thesis, or what will be the thesis structure, general thesis structure. We have in general, um, it should contain 8 chapters. Like there's no dissertation or structured exactly the same for form all the universities. The form your research takes place will depend on your location or your demographics or your discipline or the topic of research or the approach. So in general, we have these 8 chapters. Like first, it will be preliminaries, introduction, literature review, theoretical framework or uh, conceptual framework, you can say, method, results and discussion, conclusion, bibliography, and appendices. So, in today's session, we will be discussing about the preliminaries, introduction, literature review. Okay, and see, when I say that research is not an event, it is a process. You need to understand that it will not happen in a day or two. It is a long journey, it is a long process, and you need to be motivated along this process. Okay, so remember, you have to write approximately 300 pages, so you can start today. And before we move to the layout, let me tell you that you need to organize your thesis into your system means you, in your PC or laptop, wherever you are conducting, you need to maintain the soft copy. So what I would suggest, that with the layout of the thesis, there are certain chapters of preliminaries, introduction, literature review. You can make separate folders for that. Okay, so that you can have the data or the documents, word documents stored in it, and then you can edit easily, or you can organize so that you can find the separate folders and the to-do list, and generally the word document, and keep it on keep it updating regularly, so that you will not be having any difficulties. So let's start with the basic requirements, that is the preliminaries of research paper. When I say preliminaries, obviously this means the prerequisites of the research. Okay, so when I say this prerequisites, so there will be some requirements which are necessary, and uh, some will be essential, some will be necessary. So what are these? Let us understand. So what are the preliminaries with that of a thesis? There are two constituents. First one is essential, that is mandatory. You have to actually jot it down while writing the research thesis, your manuscript. And there are additional constituents. So we will be discussing one by one what are the preliminaries of the research paper, manuscript. First is the title page, then certificates, table of contents, preface, acknowledgement, and then the additional constituents like abstract you need to write, or the summary of your research paper, or the dedication page, the page which it is also called epigraph to the ones you want to dedicate. Then there are certain annexures, list of tables, list of figures or illustrations, list of abbreviations, whatever you have used in your thesis, and list of symbols. So let us understand the preliminaries one by one. So when I say about the preliminaries, this means first is the title page. Title page, as everyone knows, it contains the title, and obviously it also has 4 other statements. What are these? Let me tell you. The first title statement, second is the submission statement, then author statement, supervisor statement, and imprint statement. So let us understand this one by one. Title statement, it may consist of obviously the title followed by subtitle, but generally in the thesis I've seen the title is written alone. Okay, and the title should include the keywords, all the keywords under which the work is likely to be referred. This is for the indexing publication also. So the title should contain the verb, the area of interest or the industry, the target population, the theory, the methods which we have used, the concept, construct, scope, etc. Okay. So you are supposed to write the title. It should be containing all these things, and you are supposed to avoid any of the abbreviations in the title. Like nowadays AI generated titles are there, or if you want to write regarding the interaction or integration of sustainable development goals with AI, okay, bibliometric approach or whatever. But you need to understand that you are supposed to write artificial intelligence instead of AI, because the generic or the abbreviations are not allowed in the title, and generic name should be avoided. Instead, standard scientific and correctly used terminologies should be there in the title. And you need to remove all the waste words from the title, because the title is actually the trailer or the title of a movie. So you are supposed to project the title in such a way that it should convince the target audience and the research advisory committee as well. The title should not be repeated. You are supposed to check whether the same title has been taken earlier, because the university will not allow you to carry on with the same title. So you need to check with your university as well. Okay, the title is actually exceeding more than one line. Obviously it should be arranged in an inverted pyramid form, like an inverted triangle, and double line spacing should be there. You need to capitalize each word, and there should be clarity in the title. Okay, again, there are certain extra elements. Like I said, you submission statement means it is where the thesis is submitted to which university in partial fulfillment or fulfillment of the requirements of a degree, which is also indicated in the statement. It should be stylized, followed by the university guidelines. Okay, then I told you about the author statement. No uh, such word by should be used to introduce your name as a writer of the thesis. By Ashima Varghese, it is not allowed actually. So you just need to type your name. It should be your full name with the in all initials spelled out clearly, and order of the words that are habitually used by you. So this will be the perfect one. And you are, if you want, you can also add your academic qualifications, professional standing, if you desire so. Okay, then the title is also followed by a supervisor statement. Means whoever is your research supervisor, you should give the full name along with the salutations, his academic qualifications, his professional standing, that can be given. Now the in-print statement, that is in a dissertation, it may consist of the name of the institution or the department and the faculty, the university, where the person is studying, where you are studying, and the year in which the dissertation is submitted. And the dissertation should be written, all these things should be written in Indian numerals, not in Roman numerals. Okay, the university regulations or the guidelines, that should also be followed actually while writing the thesis. Okay, now, the each section of title should be composed as a unit distinctly. You should be doing that. And types of different sizes of fonts, or the actual font size, or the imprint size, or the submission statements, that is actually depending on your university. So always go to your university portal or website and download the guidelines or the directions, which latest directions which they have supplied already. If you don't have the access, or if you are not getting, you can get it from your research center as well. Okay, for writing the manuscripts, you need to follow the simple layout. Centered headlines should be preferred, and not ornamental or type of faces should be there. You need to capitalize the title page. Means the title should be given in all capital letters, name of the degree also in all capital, and other things like the punctuation also. You need to actually take care of the punctuation, grammar portion. At the end of any line, there should not be any comma or full stop or other punctuation marks should be given in the title. Okay, so you need to check the spelling also. Grammatical mistakes should be avoided as far as possible. Now, I hope you understand about the title page. Now we are moving towards the certifications or the certificates which you are supposed to attach. Generally, two certificates like declaration and certification of guide is actually required as the preliminaries, like bona fide certificate from guide. The format of certificate and the content of certificate is also prescribed by the respective university. So every researcher has only to insert the name of the thesis or his name, date, sign, signature. Like the format is given, you need to fill up the blanks only. So according to your direction, there are the declaration or undertaking or the certificate of progress report or the certificate of pre-submission seminar. Everything is given. Like this is to certify that Srimati Kumari, the dash dash whatever is your name, has presented her pre-submission seminar before the expert committee on dash dash subject, the faculty of business management, like that, in the compliance with the requirement of the direction. Like you need to just jot down the your um, name and necessary things. Now when I say about the preface or the forwards, it is also called the forward. Okay, so there are majorly it needs to include the nature and scope of the study. The preface is a brief account of whatever you have studies or the reason for compiling it. It also includes the formal acknowledgement of all the help and cooperation you have received in from different persons. And unlike the introduction, it is the written in the first person. Okay, singular. It is also signed. Preface is also headed as per the table of contents. Okay, so table of contents means your index part, whatever you are writing, you need to understand the index also, and that the topics heads or subheads we will be discussing it while going through the some of the thesis from Shodh Ganga. It will be the session will be held tomorrow. Today we are into the theoretical part of whatever we are going to write in our the manuscript. Okay. Now, as far as acknowledgement is concerned, if the nature and scope of the subject is treated in detail, so the acknowledgement part, it actually gives the researcher an opportunity in compilation of your research work, whoever has helped you, or in say procurement of information, you have gathering data from some company or some from some HR personnel, so you are supposed to give the acknowledgement. Okay, so you should be thankful, and by you can jot down the names acknowledging the assistance and guidance received from any person or the institution. It is mandatory to the researcher. So you are supposed to write a good acknowledgement, and you should be thanking people most formally. To whom to thank, there are certain parameters actually, or you need to maintain a proper hierarchy for giving the acknowledgement formally. When we say you are supposed to thank first your research supervisor or the co-guide, if you have any, you need to this proper hierarchy you need to maintain. Then the board of studies member, whoever is in your board or the research committee of your university, then the head of the department, the place of the research, then your principal, and the other persons like the persons who from different institutions, whoever have helped you, and research advisory committee members also you can be thankful for, and you can thank the funding bodies if you have any lab assistant, librarians, statisticians, colleagues, editors, and obviously you can be thankful for from you can thank your family, friends, and any supported staff, or some persons are also giving the acknowledgement or gratitude to God, that is perfectly all right. You can do that. You can give protect the someone's gender also. You are not required to mention the first name. You can actually if you are not willing, you can also not reveal certain names also. Okay, and you need to avoid that every member of your family, if you are thankful, you need to avoid, because you are supposed to give thanks to your family. If you are giving certain acknowledgement, don't mention everyone's name, and you may use first person pronouns like I, for writing the acknowledgement. I'm writing, I'm thankful, I'm grateful, like that. Okay, now the earlier it was not so, but you can thank God, yes, and the end of the acknowledgement, you can thank each and every person, like that also you can give. Okay, and then while having this additional constituents, means you are supposed to write your research abstract or the summary of the research. There is a dedication page like list of tables also you are supposed to attach at the end, in the annexure part, like list of figures also sequentially numbered figures and tables, whatever you have written. If there are abbreviations or symbols, you need to explain that in the appendices also, or in the annexure part as well. Okay, now when I say about these were the preliminaries which we are supposed to do. Okay, I hope this is understood. Now when I say about the writing part, now writing an introduction, it will be starting as the portion where you are supposed to write the introduction of the thesis, where actual thesis actually starts here. While writing the thesis, there are introduction, there are subsections in the introduction itself. Okay, so when I say about the introduction, basically there are 5 to 6 sections or subsections. First is the background information. Then, second is the present study. Whatever is the current study you have, you need to understand that you are supposed to provide the information. Present study, then problem definition or the problem statement, you can say. Whatever problem you are trying to solve, then the objectives of the study, research model or the conceptual framework, research hypothesis, and the definition of key terms, means whatever the terms which you are using, you should be actually giving the basic criteria of giving any type of definition or the key terms or the abbreviations, everything you need to specify here, and you need to elaborate that. Just not specify, but elaborate the definition part. Again, you need to jot down the importance of the study. Okay, importance of whatever you have done or why you are doing it, and the scope of the study, limitations of the study as well. When I say this, actually, there are different formats, but you can actually go for this. You need to go for the information like background information. When I say about the background information, you are supposed to actually provide the information when, just wait. When I say about the background information, what is happening over here? Why it is necessary to provide a background information? Because the background information or the what you can say, the reference or the prerequisite is provided about the sector or the industry, the major theme, that is the general area of your interest, or you, whatever you wish to work on. So the background information may contain information about the meanings of the key terms which are used in the title or the definitions, majorly the concepts, which are the concepts which are used, or maybe the theory part. If you are say working on Maslow's theory, or the Herzberg's theory, two factor theory of motivation, so these concepts are need to be explained. Then context to the study, that means the context where you have picked up that topic, and the evidences supported by the statistical data, means all the previous research findings you are supposed to do that. We will be covering this in our literature review session. First you need to understand the background information is helping you to form the supportive base for understanding the importance of your study. Okay, so background information should also briefly outline the reasons for doing the this project particularly, and to provide an overview of the key supporting evidences, like identification of your local need, your local area, the socio-demographic needs, then research evidence and policy drivers, etc. So it should contain the relevant contextual information and also gives the proven context to the study. Now, when I say this, you are supposed to actually provide the context to the study, means by you are supposed to give the background information by presenting the evaluation of such industry. Say if you are working in under pharmaceutical industry or the manufacturing industry, so you need to present the evaluation or provide the relevant facts, evidences, trending viewpoints, or showing why the topic is actually timely or important or not, or by providing the research evidence. So background information actually discusses what is known about the topic. So certain questions you are supposed to answer in the background information: who has introduced the topic, what is the authenticity of the topic being introduced, what is known earlier about the topic, evolution, growth of the topic, or discuss the concepts of the literature support, and what others have said about the topic, means literature review. You can mention the major breakthroughs, okay, or the cite the literature of the main contributors, means the most cited literature or most cited authors also you can talk about in this while giving the contributions, major contributors. Okay, then development of the theory over a period of time, how this concept has been developed, like if you are giving theory of motivation, two factor theory of motivation, hygiene factors are there, motivational factors are there. So over a period of time from 1950s it was introduced, and then by Herzberg. Now, what is the concept, or the development of the theory? You can very well post on that. You may present the relevant or previous studies and the citations in the background information, and more information I will be providing you in literature review. So the major concept is studying while writing the background information. Again, this is applicable for all the chapters, that you should be writing in multiple paragraph, not in one paragraph. You will be writing in one idea as per one paragraph, and in one thought in one sentence, and the sentence should not contain more than 30 words. Don't go for longer sentences. Obviously your paragraphs should be homogeneous in the content. You should treat the content in logical and sequential manner. Avoid writing long text, very short paragraph also, very excessively long paragraphs also you should avoid, and maintain a natural logical flow while writing the manuscript or any of the sections or any of the chapters. You should start with the fresh paragraph. Okay, and then um, you are supposed to write the background information. With that being said, let us in this continue with the present study. Now, what is meant by present study? The problem statement which you have mentioned, means you are explaining about the problem definition, what you have wish to do in a broad sense. What is the project all about? the problem statement. So the problem definition, you need to elaborate that problem statement, whatever has been mentioned, whatever the thesis is trying to solve. Statement is the narration of unresolved situation in the field. Means it is the research problem, refers to some difficulty that the researcher is trying to solve or to provide a theoretical or practical solution. Okay, you want to obtain a solution for that. So that should be defined in the project. Okay, and the research question. Okay, research question also refers to the research problem. Okay, because you are referring to some problem which you are trying to solve with data analysis and the interpretation and the methodology, you need to mention. Then you are supposed to mention the importance of study. This is in the introduction chapter itself. Okay, we are into introduction chapter. The importance of study is also known as the significance of study or the rationale of study. Why is it necessary? Because uh, this is the study for the focus in its practical application. What is meant by that? Whether your research is focusing on the practical application, that is the policy or management, or on advancing scholarly understanding of the topic. Means whether this is trying to solve a practical or a theoretical problem, so that you need to focus. And obviously it should have the originality value. Means you have conducted the research which is genuine in nature, which is relevant and authentic, and it relates to the existing topic of your interest, and it is giving the new insights to the stakeholders or the target audience, which is having very much value to you and for the target audience. Obviously, when I say research should follow 2W and 1H model, what is meant by that? 2W means why and who. Why? First W is why the study has been undertaken, and second W is who. Who will be benefited? Okay, and 1H is how they are going to be benefited. Okay, so your research or your present study should be having these convincing arguments that your research work will make an important contribution to the field or the study of this area. Okay, so with that being said, now the present study also contains research objectives. What is meant by research objectives? Obviously your research will be having some objectives of study. Means it will be having certain key areas or questions which are going to be answered. While an introductory line is given, if I say the objectives are of two types. First is broad edge objective. Okay, broad objective and specific objective. Okay, broad objective means the main aim or objective or purpose is to study. Like the main, for example, the main objective is to study the emotional quotient and intelligent quotient of workers in the manufacturing country unit. Okay, manufacturing company. When I say this is going to be the broad objective. Now broad objective serves as a main aim of your research, and overall objective is framed on these broad objectives in one or two sentences. When I say about the specific objectives, means these are derived from the broad objectives, and it is like the sub questions or subset. Like specific objective provide an accurate description for the specific action. Means when I say about the emotional quotient and intelligent quotient of the workers of manufacturing unit, if I say that specific objectives are, there is a mm, direct relationship between emotional quotient of males and females, or there is a difference, so that will be your specific objective. Okay, now how to frame the objectives? Always start with the infinite verb to. Like you are supposed to start, to study, to examine, to establish, to describe, to evaluate, to conduct, to develop, to calculate, to compute, to determine, to identify, to construct, to analyze, to elucidate. Like you are supposed to start the objectives with the word to, and don't go for bullet points, use numerals. Okay, you can have more than 3 to 6, 7, 8 objectives, whatever is your requirement. Now, the present study also faces this research hypothesis. So, hypothesis is an assumption based on your objectives actually, and the assumptions can be right or wrong, true or false. It needs to be tested with some statistics or with some test. Okay, so the hypothesis or the research hypothesis or hypothesis statement, whatever you can call it, these are actually the formulated out of the study which you are going to conduct. So you are supposed to present the null hypothesis and alternate hypothesis. Okay, like for example, H1 is the null hypothesis, which contains no. That is the null hypothesis. There is no significant relations between IQ and EQ. This can be a null hypothesis. Okay, and second hypothesis example can be there is no significant difference between EQ of males and females. So these can be the hypothesis statements H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, whatever hypothesis depending on the objectives you can make. Okay, generally 6 to 10 objectives along with the hypothesis are sufficient for the manuscript, but you can have your own. Now the two-term scope and limitations of the study are also mentioned in the introduction section. Scope indicates the operational boundaries, that is the length and breadth of your research, what is the geographical area, the demographics and all, what are you answerable for, what is beyond your scope, that can be addressed, like in which geographical area you are investigating, what is the time period of your research, what is the demographic or the communities of research, and what are the specific themes or aspect of your topic or your dissertation addresses. So that can be a scope, and limitations can be which are not under your control. The time period may be, or the geographical area you are restricted to only one state, not all over India, or you are restricted to only one company like pharmaceutical company or academics of one particular state and not others. So that can be, yeah, the limitations which you can mention. Okay, now when I say about literature review, so this is the part which we are going to discuss, literature review. That is a very important part. Actually, this should start um, um, initially. Before writing your preliminaries or introduction, you are supposed to review certain literature depending on your topic of interest or your area of domain. When I say about literature review, it is basically the foundation of your research. So you need to understand the area of your research or the keywords of your research. Depending on that, you can search your literature. Maybe you can download PDFs or the dissertations. Here you are supposed to summarize each literature review in small paragraphs, like 3 to 4 sentences or 10 sentences, like that only. So it is not so that literature review will give the idea or the basic things, but it is very much advisable to go for literature review. At least you are supposed to download 50 to 80 literature reviews, or depending on your university where you are conducting your research, there are certain guidelines. Like in our university, we are supposed to gather above 70 literature reviews. We are supposed to mention that. Okay, so let's start with the basic questions of what is a research review or review of literature. So first, it is a systematic survey of earlier publications, okay, or the publication relevant to your selected field of study. Now, literature review is actually the discussion of your knowledge about the topic of your interest under study, supported by the authors which have conducted the studies earlier. Basically, this is to discuss the level of knowledge. So, what is the purpose of literature review? Actually, when I say the level of knowledge, means it presents whatever is known earlier, what is already known, or it presents what remains to be investigated. That is called a research gap. What remains to be investigated, if you identify that and what is been already known, so you are actually identifying the research gap where you can obviously work on this gap in your thesis objectives, and in your manuscript you are supposed to mention the gap. Okay, and also it helps to avoid duplication of the study or the repetition of research. Means earlier, if someone has conducted, you are not supposed to repeat that, and even your research center or your university will also uh, verify whether the same topic or the same area of or the domain of study is being repeated or not. So literature review also is there to demonstrate familiarity, where the familiarity with the body of knowledge, or to establish credibility. So, literature review is important, very important. It shows the path of the prior research and how a literature project is linked to it. So, whether you are following the guidelines of your university, or out of your interest also you have downloaded certain literatures or certain PDFs of different authors, you are supposed to integrate and summarize in a known um, format. Okay, so to learn from others or to simulate ideas, literature is very important. You need to acknowledge that also. Acknowledging means giving credit to those who have already laid the groundwork for your research, like the foundation of your research. Based on these, I am conducting the further study. Okay, you need to acknowledge the authors. Also, you are supposed to identify the opposing or contrasting views of basically whatever your title is mentioned. You are getting the literature reviews who are also opposing the views or having contrasting ideas. Okay, you need to mention that. And it literature review also provides a benchmark. Means for comparing our results with previous studies, literature review is the thing which provides the benchmark for this. So, what are the steps of literature review? Okay, we are supposed to identify the sources of literature. This literature review we will be conducting tomorrow's workshop, in which I will be telling you how practically you can download certain literatures from, say, like Google Scholar or Shodh Gangotri, whatever, and how you are supposed to download 50 to 60, and depending on your area of interest, and then you are supposed to summarize that. Okay, writing of literature review, citing references, and preparing the list of references or bibliometry. So in literature review also, we have three parts, three main standard format. While writing the literature review, it is not mentioned anywhere, but in general, while writing literature review, we have this. First is the preamble or the broad objective. You need to state that. Second is the body of literature review, and third is the conclusion part of your literature review. I'm not telling you about the whole manuscript. We are into the second chapter, that is of literature review. How you are supposed to mention literature review in your manuscript. How to write preamble. Preamble means to state broad objectives. Okay, indicating relevant information, small but relevant information to review your literature indicating LR strategy. So there is a strategy or layout of, you can say, layout of a literature review chapter. So what is to be written in preamble or the broad objectives? You are supposed to give the main idea or the main purpose of this study is to, like, you are supposed to start with that, the relevant introduction. Okay, you need to introduce main heads and subheads under which the references have been cited or discussed. You are also supposed to mention the themes or sub themes which you have reviewed. Okay, so also you can mention the databases or the search engines used for searching the literature. You can mention that. And main thing is you are supposed to mention the keywords used for searching the literature of your domain. And you can also mention the time period, means for searching the literature you have mentioned, you can mention a decade from 2004 to 2014, like that. And you are supposed to mention the types of research document review. You are also supposed to mention the advanced search options, means like the language of your research or the subjects or the type of documents, like the documents are being taken from a journal or articles or the case studies, whatever. So you are supposed to mention that in the preamble. Okay, that is the strategy for writing literature review. Okay, the first part is preamble. I hope it is understood. Now, let us move to the body of literature. This is to be mentioned, the preamble or the broad objective or the body of literature and the conclusion of a LR. It is to be mentioned in one paragraph per author. Okay, this is advisable. It will be of your interest if you mention these type of references. It will be easier for you to quote the references or to cite the references. Now, what to write in the body of literature? This is the main part, because it contains the list of references which you have reviewed. Now you can organize the body of LR according to the list of references. How you can arrange that, it depends totally upon you, to arrange them by the chronology of events. Okay, by the chronology of events, time period from 2000, the latest one first. Some authors are jotting the latest one like 2024, you are jotting first, then 2023, 2022, like that chronology of events. You can also quote them according to the publication, by publication in the journal, in which year it has been published. These are ways to organize the body of literature review. Now we can also arrange this by themes and sub themes. Okay, whatever is your theme or the concept or the theory, whatever you are using for your manuscript writing, you can arrange the literature accordingly. Like I have used Herzberg theory of motivation, so I am arranging my literature according to the theme. Okay, I'm, and also one thing is there, you can also use methodological approach. While discussing the methodological approach also, you are supposed to find out the keywords in your title. You can also arrange the literature review according to the keywords of your title, like job satisfaction or employee turnover, or whichever industry, like BPO industry or pharmaceutical industry. You can also arrange the literature in that fashion. Always cite the literature according to the empirical studies, means you are actually not jotting the literature upon depending on the review literature, or like narrative literatures are also there. There are certain essay type literature, or you are not supposed to jot down or mention that. You are supposed to mention the empirical study or the first hand study or the lab study or experimental study, whatever is being conducted in your area. You are supposed to summarize each article, each and every literature you are supposed to refer and cite. Okay, this is very much essential. This is compulsory to cite the author and important things should be discussed first. Summarize each and every theme, synthesize each thing. You are supposed to analyze and interpret the results also according to, say, Alan Pritchard. He, about bibliometric analysis in 1959, he said such and such thing. So you are supposed to cite them with the reference manager. Yeah, either you can use Mendeley, Zotero, and Note, or whatever is the preferred citation manager, reference manager used by your industry, your university. You are supposed to write in, summarize the source, each source, and for each source you are supposed to write only one paragraph. You are supposed to write 5 point summary, like, in the body you are supposed to mention the introduction. As per this, the main objective of this research, the methods used, and the key results and conclusion. You are, if you find it difficult to go through all the literature of your domain, you can also, there's a tip from my side, that you can also jot down the uh, abstract part. You can also refer to the abstract part for summarizing the content of your literature, because while going through all the literature, 50 to 60 papers, it is very difficult to, actually, it can be intimidating, it can be frustrating also to read and to then get the summary out of that. So it's better to first notice the title, whether it is of use to you, it is relating to your domain, and then go read the abstract. Abstract is very useful because it contains the whole summary of whatever is conducted. Just wait. Now you are supposed to paraphrase it. Use the, you can use Quillbot or Spillbot, every software which you are familiar with. You can use that to paraphrase it. You are supposed to write the summary in past tense. See, literature review is a study which has already been conducted earlier. So you are supposed to mention that in the past tense, and chronology in the ascending order. Okay. So you need to summarize each and every thing in the end of the every section. You are supposed to synthesize and balance all sections well. So where you are right to, now we are into conclusion of literature review. How to conclude your literature review? See, this things, the preamble, body, and conclusion should be mentioned in one paragraph only. For each article, one paragraph is sufficient. It should contain 8 to 10 lines, not more than that. So what should be included in the conclusion? Actually, the conclusion, it is supposed to summarize the key findings of whatever you have taken from the literature, and emphasize their significance. Why you have taken such and such literature review? Why you have read that? Is it most cited one? Is it most cited authors, or it is getting most of the citations? Highlight the most relevant points. Means you are supposed to highlight whatever is being written. It is very much beneficial to your research, and you are propelling out of that. You are deriving certain insights from that research, and you are moving forward. Okay. So you are not supposed to reiterate, means to repeat the things, but you are supposed to mention those things, cite those things, and obviously you are supposed to give the proper citation. Either you can use paraphraser, or you can use Grammarly for grammar check. Like that you are supposed to do that. Okay. So when I say this, this is the end of our session of literature review. uh, we have gone through we are into day one, and we have gone through all the preliminaries of research, then the introduction part, and the literature review of our thesis. Okay. Now, just for your information, we have 5 minutes. Just for your knowledge, I would like to actually jot down certain things for you. Just wait. What I have done is I have downloaded one of the research papers just to give the idea about what how manuscript should be written. So this is the very good and effective effect of talent management on turnover intentions and structural equation modeling. This is the thesis, proper thesis I have downloaded. I will tell you how to download it tomorrow. So this is the actually format of the thesis which I have been discussing. First, it should contain title page, preliminary pages, chapters, introduction, LR, the conceptualization, research methodology, data analysis, results and finding, and the conclusion part. So just I'll go through it once so that you can. I hope my screen is visible. Is it so?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so just for your information, I am just uh, there's a title page displayed. It contains the title which I have been telling you that it should be in capital letters and it should be in inverted pyramid and it should contain keywords that are essential. Avoid waste words. So it is written effect of talent management practices on turnover intentions, a study among Indian IT professional. And can you see the statement of submission? A thesis submitted to in partial fulfillment for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy under the Faculty of Arts, Media and Commerce by H. Jyoti Lakshmi. And this is the university, Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, and the school, the address and all, and the year. Okay, so that was the thing I wanted to show. These are the preliminary pages. So these are having 19 preliminary pages, but just to I'll just scroll through it. Okay, this is actually the school of ye arts and science, Amrita Vidyapeetham. And then this is the declaration statement which I was telling you. Declaration statement, it is also signed, and the year in which it is signed, it is by research scholar and dedicated to. Then we have uh, table of contents like preface, acknowledgement, list of figures, tables, abbreviation, and this is the format which I was talking about. First you need to write the abstract, introduction, and then there are subsections of introduction according to your research area. Then we are supposed to have a literature review of literature, whatever is been written. See, this has also bifurcated according to their keywords, like talent management is one of the keyword, operationalization, evolution, then approaches, definition. All these are having relation with your title or the area of domain, and accordingly they have bifurcated the research, the review of literature, trust in organization, like employee organizational relationship, like that. See how big it is. Then the conceptual formulation, theoretical background, how this has been evolved, the conceptual model, and there are certain social exchange theory on which this is been developed, the role. Then the research methodology. Tomorrow we will be going to research methodology, then how to write data analysis and interpretation along with the results and discussion and conclusion. So in research methodology also, research problem, objectives, hypothesis, and then how it has been conducted, the design, sampling, data collection, and all you need to mention. Then the analysis part, how this study has been conducted, what statistical tool have been used, and then the interpretation of your data analysis in findings and discussion along with references and appendices. Okay, so these are the some of the pages which are of interest. You can I will also share if you need. This is the introduction part. I will just move along, just scroll through the introduction part, how it has been written, introduction part. Okay, now for second chapter of LR, how you are supposed to actually chapterize each and everything, and according to your university you are supposed to follow the guidelines. Okay, the contents which are presentable you are supposed to present. Then this is conceptual framework, this is the third chapter. Then the chapter of research methodology, objectives, hypothesis, like that. So your how you are going to download that, I will be telling you tomorrow. Okay, this is the chapter for analysis. You are supposed to write the manuscript in this fashion only. Okay, because the structure may be different, but the main contents or the main chapters, like which we have discussed in the layout of the manuscript, this remains the same everywhere. Where you will find the same thing, just the headings can be more or less different. Okay, in findings and discussion, you are supposed to uh, jot down the whatever the findings of your research, whether it is applicable presently, or whatever is the future application. Then these are the references where you have picked up the literature that you need to mention, the scope and conclusion, and the like recommendations also you are supposed to find out. Okay, so these are the things which I wanted to share today. So I hope my session is useful for the researchers. And tomorrow we will be discussing about research methodology, results and discussion, and conclusion and recommendations. Okay, along with a handful practice on how to download your research manuscripts related to your domain from Shodhganga and other domains. Okay, NDDA. Okay, so this is the session. I hope it is understood, and thank you. You can also go through that today's what the list to do's will be download some of the literatures from your domain. I hope many scholars have joined. So just download some of the literature from your domain, research papers, and just study the abstract. Okay. Then tomorrow we will be downloading the whole thesis or the manuscript of your domain. Okay. So these are the things we need to study. I hope this is understood. And if you have any questions, you can